In this video, I'm going to tell you why I moved from Vietnam's largest city, Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City, to the small countryside town of Phan Rang, Ninh Thuan, Vietnam. The overall reason, in a nutshell, is that I wanted a more peaceful, but also at the same time, more productive life. I figured moving out here to the countryside would be a lot more peaceful and I'd have a lot less distractions than I would in Saigon. Saigon's a huge city. There's a lot of things to do. That comes with pros and cons. There's a lot of nightlife, there's a lot of social life, a lot of different Western restaurants, different comforts that are meant for Westerners and comforts that are meant for Vietnamese and Westerners to enjoy. But a lot of that stuff is distraction, for me at least. And I had to recognize how it was affecting my lifestyle personally. Some people, you know, they can live out in Saigon and it's a totally fine balance. And it was for me for a long time. But it was just starting to get a little bit like, it was pulling me away. All the distractions were pulling me away from what I felt like my goals were ultimately. And what my mission was ultimately, which is to work hard and to do the things that I want to do with my life. You know, a lot of days I'd be going out, hanging out with friends, going to bars, kind of wasting the whole day away, getting delivery food, you know, like a big Western delivery meal, sit and watch a movie all day. And it's very comfortable. I mean, there's comfort in that, but it's kind of comfort via distraction, comfort via vice, and those vices in that case being you know, going out and drinking. Another one of those vices being kind of gluttonous, you know, overeating, eating a bad diet full of, you know, big Mexican food meals or, you know, Italian food or whatever it is, but it's not good, healthy Vietnamese food. So I've been able to really prioritize my physical and mental health out here in the countryside. I've been in the gym regularly. I've been waking up and going to the beach, swimming, being active, getting out in the sunlight, walking a lot, doing things like that, sweating, getting a workout, and then eating well, being very mindful of what I put in my body. Especially the more I work out. It seems like the more I work out, the more that I want to actually eat well and to not, you know, take in things that are just bad for me. Overall, just really prioritizing my physical health and then my mental health as well. I've been reading more. I went to church for the first time this Sunday. Not that I'm like super religious right now, but it's like trying to be a little bit more spiritual. I think it's been helping my mental health. You know, getting away from the distractions, getting away from the vices, and prioritizing the important things. My dad used to use a saying as I was growing up. He used to say, take care of the big rocks. So, you know, if you have, for example, a jar and you have to fill it with rocks. So you got a rock, let's say we have a big old jar, we got a rock this size, and then we've got multiple rocks that are this size. All right, these little rocks, let's get out of the sun there, get out of the light there for you. These little rocks would represent things like going out to bars, going and having big gluttonous Western meals, playing video games, doing, you know, various other vices, right? But then these big rocks would be taking care of your physical health, going to the gym, doing your work well, being productive at work, you know, making the videos that I want to make, doing things like that. So if you're going to fill up a jar, you can put the big rocks in and then you can fill it with the little rocks afterwards. But if you put the little rocks in before the big rocks in, I wish I had a jar to show you, but the big rocks end up not fitting. That's the metaphor. Kind of wish I had a jar. Maybe I could use those things, those big old things right there. I don't know what they're building here. I could use those as a jar. But anyways, I like the metaphor. It essentially means take care of what's important first, and then you know, sprinkle in the sweets, the treats, you know, the little things afterwards, but take care of what's important first. And I think that's what I'm doing out here in the countryside, is I'm taking care of the big rocks. I'm putting the big rocks in first, and then the little rocks, you know, here and there, to stay balanced. But the other way, I was definitely the other way around in Saigon. I was little rocks first and no room for the big rocks. You know, it's tough to be productive when you're out until 3 a.m. at the bar, hanging out with friends, waking up at 3 p.m. the next day, you know, not feeling great, obviously, you guys know that, and then eating a huge meal because you're like, oh, I'm so hungry, and oh my gosh, a big quesadilla and burrito sounds great right now. And then you eat that and you're like, okay, time for a nap, and it's like 5:30 p.m. You end up really waking up by like 8 p.m. and it's just like you rinse and repeat that sort of cycle, which that was kind of the habit I was getting into in Saigon, which, you know, that's becoming unmanageable, right? That's like, okay. So I came out here to the countryside to really kind of avoid the vices a little bit, the little rocks, avoid prioritizing the little rocks as much, to focus more on the big rocks, focus more on doing the work, focus more on growing my channel, focus more on making content, focus more on prioritizing my physical health, my mental health. Another thing I want to do is prioritize spending quality time with Trang and her family. This is Trang's hometown, Phan Rang. Specifically this area of Thap Cham. We're here on the Chi River, otherwise known as the Som Kai. It's beautiful. I don't know what they're building here. We've got a little thingy here, little thing here, some guys here building something, but still, as you can see, very peaceful. And that's what I'm talking about, just more of a peaceful lifestyle. But to spend more quality time with Trang and her family. I didn't really see her family at all when I'm living in Saigon, because they're out here, they live here. And with Trang, we were spending time together every day, but it was like, was it really good quality? You know, it's like kind of that routine I was talking to you about. You know, and then she's working some odd hours doing her interpreting job, where it's like she's working US hours, living a Vietnam lifestyle, but working US hours, which means working through the night. So wasn't a lot of quality time. So she's able to, out here, the cost of living is lower, I'll get into that as well. Switched her schedule up a little bit, so she's working a lot less throughout the night. You know, we get up early in the morning, we spend good quality time with her and her family. We have meals together, breakfast and lunch at least. We're cooking meals together. We're doing things in a family setting, and that's just really refreshing. It's something that I haven't had in a long time, is that sense of kind of like home. Vietnam has always felt like a home for me, like since I arrived here, which was about 8 years ago now, almost 8 years. But I was sort of losing touch. I was sort of losing touch with that in Saigon towards the end there. And now I feel a lot more grounded out here. Some kids over there. There's kids over here. They're always excited to see you, and it's pretty cool. They don't get a lot of foreigners out here, so I get it. It's understandable. So yeah, spending that good quality family time and then good quality time with Trang, it's really just, you know, I feel like strengthening our relationship. I think, you know, she's been going out and filming with me. We're having a lot more fun doing the vlogs. When I'm editing the vlogs, I just see a lot more happiness in her. And that warms my heart too, because she's really taking like an active interest and participating fully in what I love to do, which is making these videos for you guys. And yeah, it's just really cool. This isn't the most beautiful of scenes, but it is the river. And another one of the reasons that I came out here was being closer to nature. It's a short drive to get to places like Nha Trang or Mui Ne. There's also the beach here. So being closer to nature, I think it's helping my physical and mental health. Getting out, having more of a reason to, as they've been saying lately, touch grass, you know, as kind of like a yo, get yourself grounded, get yourself level. But it's true, like I do feel more grounded, I do feel more level, and I think being closer to nature is good. It's good for the soul. good for the body, good for the productivity. I had a lot of fun. I just met the guys, the young gentlemen that were working here. Some over here. Hello.
What's your name?
My name's Tyler.
My name Phan Rang.
Chào chưa? Chào chú. Dạ.
Chú.
Dạ. Dạ.
Dạ anh biết nói
Còn
tiếng
chào
Việt
chú.
à?
Biết chút xíu rồi. Không biết rành nhưng mà biết nói chuyện một chút nè. Dạ.
Không nó nói là tiếng Việt không đớt á.
Đâu rồi nói tiếng Việt được mà anh.
Tức là cái giọng nói người ta xác định là nó không đớt, tức là giọng nói đó phát âm chuẩn, ở chuẩn rồi đó.
Dạ. Phát âm không tốt.
Không chuẩn.
Anh về Việt Nam lâu chưa?
Dạ, ở Việt Nam 7 năm rồi.
7 năm rồi.
Dạ. 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 Dạ.
Đi quay cái gì đây?
Dạ, con đang quay về tại sao con đang sống ở quê. Dạ. Dạ, con mới đang sống ở quê. Con đã sống ở Saigon. Dạ.
Sống
Dạ.
Sài Gòn được mấy năm rồi?
Dạ, 7 năm rồi.
7 năm.
Dạ, con
ra Ninh Thuận này bao lâu rồi?
dạ chỉ 2 tuần rồi.
2 tuần rồi.
Dạ, rồi rất vui được gặp mọi người. Dạ.
Ủa,
Chào.
anh ở đâu mà đi bộ xuống đường này?
Dạ, dạ. Gần đây.
Gần đây hả?
Dạ. Dạ. Thưa mọi người,
Đây.
con đi. Yeah. All right, so just a little like conversation with them. Basically, like, you know, hello. Very friendly people, though. See you guys. Bye bye. Bye bye. They're working. So yeah, they're the ones doing this work here. But very friendly people out here. So that's another reason. Like, that wasn't a reason why I moved out here. That's just a benefit. And I will make another video about like the benefits of living in the countryside, or you know, the benefits and drawbacks, the differences really of living in the countryside versus living in Saigon. But being closer to nature, what we were talking about there was can I speak Vietnamese? How long have I lived here? 7 years. What am my pronunciation? He said my pronunciation's like standard, I think. And I said, yeah, my pronunciation's not really good. Then he said, what are you filming about? I told him I'm filming about why I'm living out in the countryside. I said I had just moved to the countryside, that I had spent 7 years living in Saigon. And he said, how long have you been here in the countryside? I said, only like 2 weeks. So yeah, it's been a little over 2 weeks, I think. I guess like 3 weeks now. Anyways, being closer to nature, you can hear the cicadas. That's what I learned those were. You're not gonna hear that in Saigon. The only thing you're gonna hear in Saigon are the motorbikes and the honking. Burr, burr, burr. You don't hear any honking right now. I don't hear a single honk. I hear a lot of cicadas though. And then I hear the tractor that they're working with. That's it though. So definitely more peaceful in those senses, and just really allows me to lock in and do what I want to do, continue my mission. And I've really like solidified that idea in my head that I am on a mission to show you guys real life in Vietnam from the eyes of an American expat, and to spread joy, to spread happiness, to spread information about what it's like to actually live in Vietnam. And I really do appreciate you guys watching. You know, it means the world to me, you guys watching, liking the videos, commenting on the videos. Love hearing your feedback all the time. It's awesome. If you want extra content, bonus footage, deleted scenes, definitely check out my Patreon. Links in the description below. It's a huge way to help me out as a creator. I really do appreciate it. Another big consideration about moving here was saving money. So living here in the countryside, the cost of living is just much lower. I mentioned that Trang's family are from here. They're from Phan Rang. So at the moment we're staying at their house with them. We may get our own place in the future, but even if we did, the rental prices out here are like 4 to 6 million a month, where the rental prices in Saigon are like at least 10 million a month, going up to like 20 million a month. So, you know, the $500 to $1,000 range just for rent. But out here, the rent prices are like $150 to like $250. You're saving yourself about half the amount of money doing that, living in the countryside rental. Even everyday stuff like getting food. If you want like a plate of cơm tam here or a bowl of bánh can, it's like, you know, 30% less than what it would be in Saigon at least. If you want things like a haircut out here, it's like 40 to 50% less than it would be in Saigon. If you want to go to do things like get a massage, it's like half the price here in the countryside versus Saigon. And I think the prices here in the countryside, they just reflect kind of the overall average earning per month of the people living in the countryside. It's just a little bit lower than Saigon, so the prices of everything are going to be a little bit lower to reflect that, and they have to set a price point that people can actually afford. So because people make a little bit less money out here in the countryside, things cost a little bit less, and for the time being, that's great. Trey and I really focus on saving money right now, planning for a future, so I think being out here in the countryside is a really positive thing in regards to that. Another thing too, it's like my hobbies now, doing the work, going to the gym out here, by the way, much cheaper. I got a gym membership for 160K. That would be at least 350K for the type of gym I go to, which is a real shabby, no air conditioning type of scene. But I like that. I get a good sweat in. I'm there to just pick up heavy things and put them down, sweat, get some cardio in. It works. I don't need the air conditioning, the fancy stuff. That's one of my hobbies, working out. So that's essentially free because it's like 20 cents a day. Reading, free. We go to the beach, free. Going out and filming videos, which oftentimes is, you know, doing local Vietnamese stuff, like having some street food, doing this, walking around the countryside. These aren't things that cost a lot of money. I'm not only saving money because the cost of things is lower, but because of the choices that I'm making in the lifestyle I'm living. I'm more locked in, I'm more focused on the big rocks that I talked about earlier. Things in Saigon that I would do, like going out to the bar, that would be like, you know, $30 plus every time I'd go, which it's not a ton of money, especially when you compare it to American prices, but that stuff adds up. Also getting a Western style meal. We had one yesterday at Pizza 4Ps, and for the 4 of us to eat, it was like, not a ton of money by the way, but it was like $70. But you know, typically what we eat here in the countryside, 4 of us are gonna eat for like $8 because we're gonna go to like a cơm gà place. And realistically, we all like that food better. It's healthier, it feels better, and it's less expensive. So the benefits just outweigh the negatives. I don't see any negatives really. Maybe just that it's not a super nice or fancy place, but different life choices and then a lower cost of things overall. Definitely saving a lot of money living here in the countryside. I like these farms here. Everywhere's just got like a little farm. That's really cool. I think that's like traditional Vietnamese culture too. It's an agricultural culture. You know, people usually they come to the big city for a job there, to work there, and then on their most revered holiday of the year, Tet holiday, the Lunar New Year, they go back to the countryside, back to their hometown. They way and come back to places like this. And I do feel like this next reason, connecting more deeply with Vietnamese culture, is a valid thing. I feel like being out here in the small town in rural Vietnam, I'm meeting like a guy I did a couple days ago when I filmed. I met the coconut and jackfruit farmer. I hung out with a grandma who was just sitting out on her stoop who wanted to talk to me. I met those young gentlemen over there and the older gentlemen over there working with their tractor, building whatever they're building over by the river. But I feel like I'm connecting more with Vietnamese people. I feel like I'm connecting more with traditional, real Vietnamese culture being out here in the countryside versus being out in Saigon where modernity's really taken over. You know, everything's new, everything's like more developed, and there's comfort to development. It's cool. I like being able to go to you know, like a nice restaurant. I like cinemas. I like things like that. You know, and they have things like that here. It's just a lot more limited. You know, that's all over the place in Saigon. And it's cool, but it's not traditional, real Vietnamese culture. And I feel like I'm connecting with that more here in the countryside. Another benefit. If I'm gonna do it, I'm really gonna do it. I'm gonna go to the countryside and live there. Because I'm sacrificing a lot of things realistically. So some of the drawbacks, I'm sacrificing basically my entire social life. All of my friends live in Saigon now. And your friends really become your family. When you're living in Vietnam, your family, or back in America, your good friends are your family. Chào chú. Con chó đó có hiền không? Chú ơi. Yeah. Oh, có. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Không sao. Chú có nông trái đẹp. Nông trái có gì à?
Dừa, ở trồng dừa mà nó hư hết rồi.
Dừa hả? Dạ.
Hư nè, hư nữa không? Hư hết là
Yeah.
trồng cây khác không biết gì vô.
Dạ.
Gốc.
Dạ.
Gốc á.
Dạ. Dừa.
Ủa rồi bạn ở đâu?
Dạ. Con ở gần đây, ở đường 21 tháng 8. Dạ. Dạ. Nhưng mà con mới sống ở quê. Con sống ở Saigon 7 năm rồi.
À, chị nói tiếng Việt rành ghê.
Dạ, con đang cố gắng học tiếng Việt nữa.
À, con gái rồi đó hả?
Dạ, không có.
Chứ làm gì?
Làm mình
Đi trải nghiệm hả không?
quay phim trên YouTube.
Trải nghiệm.
Dạ, so con chỉ đi bộ gần sông. Dạ. Dạ, dạ. Xung quanh rất là đẹp. Dạ. Dạ. Nhưng mà con đi bộ à?
Đi bộ. Đương khai thác cát này nè, xe máy múc rồi ra đây coi chụp hình. Đây dưới đây đây.
Dạ, dạ.
Ở đường
Dạ.
làm rồi đó.
Thưa chú à. Dạ, con về. Dạ. Con về nè. The dogs are nice. I think I was maybe I was like I didn't realize this was like his house, really. Okay, I guess I kind of get it now. But he was really friendly, so I liked the interaction we had. It was very nice. But that interaction right there, I'm very comfortable having that interaction. He was basically like, "What are you doing? Or were you fishing?" I think. What are you doing? I said I was filming a YouTube video. I live around here. I just started living here, but I spent the last 7 years living in Saigon. Kind of the same things I was saying over there. But the biggest reason, before I tell you my number one reason, go ahead and click the like button if you're liking this video, and leave in the comments, what do you think about my move to the countryside? Would you rather live in a big city in Vietnam like Saigon, or a small town here like Phan Rang? So the number one reason I moved to the countryside is really getting fluent in Vietnamese. And all the things that I mentioned earlier, like locking in my mental and physical health, solidifying my goals, really working on the things that are important, the big rocks, spending quality time with Trang and her family, those things are helping me with this goal of becoming fluent in Vietnamese, really getting fluent in Vietnamese. So I'm speaking Vietnamese every day for hours and hours now. It's not just like occasionally speaking Vietnamese when I go out and maybe film a vlog for an hour, which, as you guys could see, was becoming somewhat irregular, you know, maybe once every couple weeks. Sometimes I would take up to a month off, things like that. It just was becoming way too irregular. But now I'm going out, I'm filming, I'm doing it. I'm uploading to my YouTube, I'm trying to do everyday uploads again. And going out and doing the things like this, I'm interacting with people in Vietnamese. Going out with Trang and her parents, we're speaking Vietnamese the whole time. Her parents don't speak English. So the burden is on me. I'm the only one who doesn't speak Vietnamese. It's on me to learn it. And because I'm out here without my friends and my social circle, if I want to have interaction with people besides Trang, I've got to speak Vietnamese. So it's really just push the sense of urgency on speaking Vietnamese. It's push the sense of urgency on becoming fluent. I can speak some Vietnamese, but now I'm starting to I'm getting out of the some zone into the much zone, and hopefully I go into the much zone to the fluent zone, you know, but I'm here and I want to do that. That's what I want to do. If I can visualize the graph of being fluent, and fluency's up here. I'm still down here, you know, but I'm curving up now, where I was plateauing before. My growth was just kind of like, if anything, very small and steady. Now it's really curving exponentially, so I like that. That's going to be huge. I think in terms of really all of the other things that are making me happy right now, connecting more with Vietnamese culture, that's going to be huge. Speaking Vietnamese fluently, being able to just communicate myself with those around me in an uninhibited way. If you speak English, that's great, I'll speak English with you. But if you don't speak English and you just speak Vietnamese here, I'm in Vietnam and I can speak Vietnamese fluently, if that's the case, boom, I'm able to communicate with you too. So I love that. I love the potential for that, and I think that's going to lead to a lot of really cool and fresh content, which is the last reason I moved out here, which was fresh content. You know, I think you see a lot of the city life, you see a lot of Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, you see a lot of Hanoi, you see a lot of Danang, you even see Nha Trang a lot, but you don't see small countryside life like this, like Phan Rang in the countryside. So I'm excited about it. I think it's great. Why did I move out here? All the above. And I just feel a lot better. It's almost like a weight off my shoulders. I do miss my friends. I miss my friends because they've become like family. And I miss, you know, the fun things in Saigon. I miss going to Rafters, my favorite bar over there. I miss seeing my friends. I miss playing on my pool team. I miss these things. But the benefits for me right now, in terms of locking in, striving towards my goals, taking care of the big rocks, taking care of my physical health, taking care of my mental health, bonding with Trang and her family, becoming closer with Trang, solidifying our relationship a lot more, planning for our future in terms of saving money and learning Vietnamese. All of those benefits definitely outweigh the drawbacks in terms of my move here to the countryside. So I'm super happy with it. There's no like set timeline, like when we're going to move back to Saigon. It has not been determined yet. The only thing that's been determined is that we will make regular visits back to Saigon, just so that we can both see our friends. I think that's important. But yeah, you know, look for fresh content. A lot of content from here. This is home base now. But you know, we went to Nha Trang yesterday, so by the time this video is up, you'll have seen that video. Will have come up already. And then other short trips to places like Danang or Mui Ne, or you know, fly up to Hanoi for a few days. Definitely gonna do those things with content on my mind. You know, I'm really prioritizing the channel, prioritizing the mission to show you guys life here in Vietnam through my lens, from my perspective, literally through my lens, from my perspective. But that's it, guys. I really do appreciate, someone in the comments asked me this question, so it gave me the idea to make a video about this. I think it was a really interesting video to film. I think the person in the comments who asked the question was Laura. So thank you, Laura, for asking that question. I want to thank my Patreon members, my executive producer, Kimber, and my crew members, Thanner, David, and Jonathan. Really appreciate you guys as patrons on my Patreon. And I want to thank all of you for watching. I hope you liked this vlog. If you did like it, click the like button, subscribe to the channel to support the growth, and leave any comments you have. I'm really happy to hear from you all. And I'll see you all in the next vlog. I hope you're all happy and well. Love all of you. Peace.